Personally, I think single tonality chords are sort of very much sort of underlooked and underutilized. There are really two parts to this, so I thought we would just go through it sort of quite quickly. I mean, we're going to start with a really simple one, which is a minor triad. So as well as the note coming in, which we'll call the root note, which it is, we also have +3, which is the minor third, and +7, which gives us the fifth. And there we go. Now, so what we hear is a single minor chord, right? That's what we have there. So then when we do things like the 1, 4, 5, so that means we go up to F, and then we also do G, assuming of course we're in C, but there we go. We have a set of single tonalities. Now the thing is, the sorts of we can arrange that chord across any number of bass notes. That's kind of really the important part. When you listen to songs like Goldie's Inner City Life, right? So Inner City Life features a minor 9 chord. So that minor 9 chord has the additional notes of a 10 and 14. So 3 is the minor third, 7 is the fifth, 10 is the flattened 7th or minor 7th, and 14 is the 9th. So it gives you that sort of sound. So that's still the 1, 4, 5, starting on the 5, going to the 4, going to the 1. Now, when we listen to songs like Inner City Life, like Goldie, and maybe we listen to things like, I mean, a classic one is Inner City. It's only circumstantial that they've both got Inner City in them. But like Inner City, like Big Life, right? So like Big Life, let's turn off, yeah. That's really cool. I mean, that's kind of the sound. Now, the bit that we're missing, when we take these kind of single tonality chords, whether they're sampled or whether we sort of fake them by creating them using the chord tool, the thing to kind of appreciate is that we also need another aspect to this. And the aspect to this is basically a bass line. So the bass line movement is actually really important. So when we listen to, say, Inner City, so I've taken the chord off now, right? So we just hear the bass. Goes down a fourth, C down to G. Goes up a minor third to B flat, and then down another fourth to F. La, da, ba, da. And then it repeats that, right? And then we get the harmonic rhythm. Now, as a bass line, doesn't necessarily rock our boat. As a chord sound, it's a bit more. Now, if we're in Ableton and we're using this, we think we'd like to hear a bit more low end, you can take another one of the voices. So I'm going to take Shift 5 and I'll make that -12. So this will give us an octave below the root. It gives us a bit more kind of bass, sort of a foundation there if we want that. So that's what we can do there. So the thing that is really missing in when we sort of take this sort of idea, because it's more than just sort of playing a sample, it is also sort of trying to figure a kind of a bass sort of idea. Now, one of the ones I kind of like doing in things like drum and bass, let me put this back to, say, 14, starting on C, so that's C. So I'm basically transposing it into the key of F now. C, D flat, F, and then E flat. So those are the root notes. But the chord sound that we hear within, or you know, every chord sound we hear is of a minor 9th. I'll just put the bass in there as well, give it a -12. So that's C, D flat, F, E flat. So that's a G flat F, then moving back down to C. So the thing is that what we kind of want to do is to sort of try and map out what could be defined as the bassline movement. The bassline movement is going to be the idea that is kind of like the glue that sort of holds this whole thing together. Because if we don't have that bass line movement, I mean, if we just did 1-4-5s, that's fine, right? But the thing about these sorts of chords is it gives us the opportunity to exploit bass lines that kind of hang together really well. So here, the D flat, the C, the D flat is a semitone, upper third, upper major third to F, and then down a tone to the E flat, and then basically with some kind of rhythmic kind of sequence to it, right? So we have that. What we have now is basically a gluing factor, which is the bass line. And the bass line is actually really important. And the thing is that, you know, in many ways, having a static bass line is kind of detrimental to kind of using this sort of approach. You kind of need one that is that sort of like the inner city one is quite well constructed, right? So it behaves in a very much a structured way. It's C down to G, down a fourth, up a third, down a fourth. So you've got this almost this kind of sequential idea of sound. It's the same idea, C to G, then transposed down a tone, and then back in a loop. So you're kind of looking for that sort of idea. When we listen to something like Goldie's Inner City Life, that one starts in E minor. So there's the idea. La da 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 ba ba. La da 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 da. So we get that sort of idea. That's D. La da 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 da, right? Da 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 ba ba da. So we have E for the majority of that sequence, followed by the notes D and then C. For each of those, the chord sound is not changing. It's basically just the minor ninth, right? So it's the combination of the sound plus the plus this kind of bass line. So this is really what's kind of lying on the other at the other sort of side of this, is that we should be able to, or we shouldn't really be afraid to kind of really explore odd's not even the right word, but just shifts that are less common, that create this kind of intriguing kind of tonalities when we hear them sort of expressed in a kind of a complete kind of song, right?